What an exciting time of life. I know you think I'm talking about you, but I'm talking about St. Paul. He had his conversion. He fell in love with Jesus Christ after being knocked down by the brilliance of his glory. And he went blind, and then he could see. And now he's out telling other people about this Jesus who rose from the dead. It's an exciting time for him. And then he goes somewhere, which is an unusual place to declare the one God who is living and true. He goes to Athens. In our first reading, he goes to Athens, and there are altars all over the place for these pagan gods. You know those Roman gods like Apollos and all those ones there. There's altars and shrines and statues to all of them. And there's a bunch of people up there on top of the hill by this great temple, and he finds another statue. And he approaches the statue, and he realizes that statue is to the unknown God, the God that they don't know yet. And he uses that statue to affirm all of them by telling them, I can tell you are a religious people. Today we would probably say it this way, I can tell you have an interest in spirituality, in things that you cannot see, that are beyond explanation, spirituality. And we can say that of you today too. Not only you, but all of us together. You are spiritual people. If you weren't spiritual, you wouldn't be watching this Holy Mass, whether it's recorded or live. You are spiritual people. You acknowledge there are some things that cannot be seen or explained by the normal humdrum of life. There's something real, and it's beyond us. And so St. Paul, in this exciting time of his life, is preaching. He affirms them, and then he goes on to tell them, this unknown God that you have this statue to, this is the one real God. He is the God of creation. He is the one who created all the heavens and all the earth. And he is the giver of life. In fact, you're alive, he kind of goes on to say, because of this God who loved you into the world. Of course, we know moms and dads help God by their act of love. But it is God himself who knits us in our mother's wombs. God himself, he loves you. And there are unknown gods. We have unknown gods in our life. I've had unknown gods in my life, and I suppose I still do, even if I don't recognize them all. If I think of my days in high school, some of my unknown gods were things that I put above God as more important than God. Things like maybe, I loved shot put and discus. And so that was one of my sports and great hobbies. I like to throw that. I put that above God sometimes. Sometimes it was just hanging out with friends. That was more important than doing anything at church, for instance. Or sometimes it was work. Work is more important. I don't have enough time to pray. I got to go to work, or something like that. Those things that are not necessarily God's, but we put in the place of God in our lives. Maybe you have some of those things. Sometimes music. Boy, did I ever like AC/DC when I was growing up. I shouldn't mention that in church. But we all have these things that get in the way of our love and our relationship with God, and let's just call them what they are, unknown gods that we give little temples in our own minds and our own hearts because we make them more important than the God who is real. And all of this, for St. Paul, hinges on a single truth. That one truth depends on some others, but the most important thing for a Christian to believe is that Jesus rose from the dead. He rose from the dead. If he didn't rise from the dead, there is no good reason to even believe in Jesus. The fact that he rose from the dead is everything. And you are going to have a lot of time, whether you go to college or to the military or start working, you're going to have time on your journey of spirituality, your journey of faith. You're going to have a time to search, to do some soul searching. I'm reminded of a movie. It's called Case for Christ. It's a movie, I think you can still find it on Netflix. It's about a news reporter, avid atheist, and he doesn't believe in God in any way, shape, or form, and he's being challenged along the way, and he has to prove to somebody that Jesus didn't rise from the dead. And so he goes about asking some of his atheist friends, says, how would you go about doing that? And they say, you know what? Just do what you're good at. You're a news reporter. Do the investigation and look at all the criteria and all the things for what is true and real and testimonies and all that. And then that should be good enough for you. So he does that. And he does this soul searching throughout the movie. And he discovers that through his newspaper writing approach, there is every evidence that Jesus Christ was real and that he rose from the dead. That according to the evidence he found, it was undeniable. And of course, he has a conversion. You may not have that journey in your life to Christ, but you all have a faith journey. Our faith will come and go. Some of you have already committed your lives to Christ, and you love the things of the church, the Eucharist and Mary and Scripture and things like this. Some of you are like, I've seen all of that, and I don't really get it yet. I have doubts. Don't worry about that right now. Some of you have even said, I'm just drifting away, and I'm okay with that right now. Some of you may be right there. You know what? I am not worried about all that. What I am worried about, though, is if you stop searching. Because if you stop searching for that thing that will fill the void in your life, that fills the spiritual part of you, you are going to be lonely, and you're going to be grumpy. And we got enough lonely and grumpy people in this world. We need joy. We need joy. And so it is my hope that you keep searching. And as you search, I have confidence that if you're honest and if you're open, you will find your way back to the one true living God. And you will find your way back to Jesus Christ. And so it is our prayer as a parish communities, it is our prayer that you have a blessed future, that you have a future full of hope. It is our hope that you never stop searching as you make a new chapter in your lives. When you all started this year of your senior year, you had many thoughts of how you might want to spend it. None of us ever thought we would not have to go to the school building to finish our senior year. Some of you were maybe like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I had senioritis. I was ready to be done with that. Some of you are like, I had so many things I wanted to do with my friends and such memories I wanted to have. There's that side too, and a lot of people in between. 5 years from now, it's not going to make a very big difference. You're going to look back at it, and it was what it was, and I am who I am, and it's not going to make that big a difference. Right now, it does, because that's where we're at, and that's a good thing. But have hope for the future. God is behind you in your past. God is in your future before you. And tonight I am grateful that you are with us. You are with God in this holy Mass. You are a people of faith. You have a spiritual life. And I hope that you're able to fill that not with the unknown gods of life, but with the one true God who made heaven and earth and who knit you in your mother's womb. At this time, I'm going to invite Jody Shermers forward, one of the parents of our graduates, and you have a letter for our graduates, and so thank you for being here. You can read that from right here, and so stand by.
Hello to everyone watching, but especially to you 2020 graduates. My name is Jody Shermers, and I'm honored to talk to you seniors today and present to you the traditional speech on behalf of your parents and myself. So here we go. I would like to start with a little story, which could have been one of you graduates out there. A little girl, dressed in her best clothes, was running as fast as she could, trying not to be late for her first day of school. As she ran, she prayed, "Dear Lord, please don't let me be late. Dear Lord, please don't let me be late." While she was running and praying, she tripped on the curb and fell, getting her clothes dirty and tearing her best dress. She got up, brushed herself off, and started running again. As she ran, she once again began to pray, "Dear Lord, please don't let me be late, but please don't shove me either." Well, 2020 graduates, here we are, 13 years since your first day of school. Wow, and now you are the ones graduating from high school. A day you never thought would get here fast enough. Now, maybe you will get the old saying, "Where has the time gone?" Truly, where has the time gone? Each and every one of you and your parents and loved ones could say that they still remember in detail the day you were born. Now we are getting ready to send you off into the real world. For some of you, that's very exciting and a thrilling thing. For others, it might feel more like that little girl running to school, a big shove. But either way, please remember one thing and never forget it. Your parents love you more than you will ever know. A sense of humor is a gift from God. Laughter unites us. Funny things help us get through the hard times in life. Without humor, this whole COVID-19, 20, 21, you get it, would be a lot harder on all of us. Unfortunately, just like everything else that you have had to see change, today's senior mass is no different. I truly wish you could all be sitting here in this church together for your special mass, feeling the love of all your parents, family, and church community. But you're not. So here comes another good old saying. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you, 2020 graduates, you are strong. You are resilient, and you are all amazing. You have proved it because you have done something no one else can say that they have ever done. You graduated in the year 2020 when coronavirus shut down most of the world. But you still toughed it out. Be proud of the fact. You picked yourself up just like that little girl, brushed yourselves off, and you are making the best of it. We are all very proud of that. I'm sure I speak for your parents, teachers, and loved ones when I say, I am so sorry for all the things you didn't get to do. I know that that really stinks. But when you look back on your school years, try and remember all the good times that you shared together, from kindergarten up through, the third quarter of your senior year and all of summer yet. Unfortunately for you, you were thrown into life a little earlier than we would have liked. As your parents, we wish we could have kept you tucked away in our safe little nest just a little longer and see you complete your senior year normally. Instead, you were shown that the reality of life, how it is so uncertain and always changing. You may or may not have your future planned out. Let's stop there just for a second. I hope you have your plans in place for your future, but as we all have just seen these last couple months, things can change. God is truly the only one who knows what's your future and what is the best for you. He has known about it from the day that you were born, so talk to him about it and ask him what he thinks. Pray for advice, but then be sure to listen for the answer. It probably won't be immediate, and you may have to pray and talk to him repeatedly, but if you go to him, talk to him, pray to him, he will respond to you in your heart. I promise. You are going to have to make some big decisions in your lifetime, so start talking and asking God now to help you and guide you. As your parents, we will always be here to give you advice, whether you like it or not. But now that you also have God, know that you also have God, Jesus, Mary, the Bible, and all the saints, especially the saint that you picked on your confirmation date, that you can pray to. Maybe someone close to you passed away. Talk to them all as often as you can. We love you. We are proud of you and all that you have accomplished in your young lifetime. Follow your dreams. Do not be afraid of falling down. We have all done it. Just pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and start running again. God knows where you will be the happiest, and he may gently steer you in a different direction. But remember, he will never shove you. Congratulations to all you Sauk Center graduates, and may God always bless the class of 2020. Thank you.